Why is it difficult for us to recognize our need for help sometimes? Why can it be difficult to ask those closest to us for help? According to Genesis, God created families to support and care for one another and to care for all of God's creation. Our Bible verses this week depict families as the way in which all people were intended to experience having intrinsic worth, and the place to learn that everyone should and can help one another to live. Genesis 2 teaches us that the origin of the relationship between male and female is rooted in helping and receiving help from one another. Adam was the biblical name given to the first man created. The Hebrew word Adamah makes reference to the earth from which he was formed. Adam could never have existed without God. Adam's existence is also aided by Eve, who will help him to not be alone. Eve is connected to Adam and God, being formed from Adam's rib. The name of the first woman created, Eve, means life. She and Adam are the original ancestors of all people. And that brings us to our Bible verse for today, which reads, "This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one." Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Until verse 18, God had declared everything good. The first thing that God declares as not good is the idea of being alone. There was no one like Adam, and yet sufficiently different to challenge and stimulate him intellectually, emotionally, or spiritually. The knowledge that one is alone is one of the deepest realizations of human feelings. It can either lead one to seek fellowship or to despair. God understands the danger of loneliness. He helped Adam out of his lonely state before it resulted in problems for Adam. After God creates Eve, we are told that God brought the woman to Adam. God, therefore, formed this relationship. Adam's response to this new relationship is to acknowledge the deep connection between himself and this other human being. The Hebrew word etzem, translated as bone, could also mean strength, thus meaning strength of my strength. By extension, it can refer figuratively to the strong identity of an individual. Therefore, Adam could also mean to call Eve the very substance of my being. Flesh, of course, refers to similarity of bodily form, which must have been quite striking to Adam. Genesis 2 does not indicate that the woman is to be subservient to the man. Rather, they are partners in the work God had assigned to him. The creation of the woman's body from the body of the man explains the motive for their sexuality. They were separated from one another, but she is part of the man. They are sexually complementary. The two physically reunite and again become one flesh. Together, the man and the woman unite to form necessary and whole community. Through this positive bond, they are to bear children who in turn leave home and form new families, fulfilling God's command to be fruitful and multiply. The fact that sin separated Adam and Eve from God did not negate the command of God to be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it, from Genesis 1:28. Adam knew Eve, which in this case is used as a euphemism for sex, but included more fully experiencing Eve. They have two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain was a worker of the land, and Abel cared for the animals. The broken relationship that later develops between the brothers relates to the broken relationship that was developing between God and humanity. Here's our lesson. We live in a world that celebrates independent women or self-made men, and many people follow suit, proudly proclaiming that in this life all we need is ourselves. No doubt, we all must learn the importance of self-respect and self-love, but the Genesis 2 passage is clear. It is through our relationships with other human beings that we more fully appreciate our humanity. We need God and one another too, if we desire to thrive in this life. Heavenly Father, fill our hearts with what we truly desire, for who we truly seek is you.